What's going on, guys? Just want to do a daily recap for today, October 6th, Monday. Let's jump right into it. So today was a no news Monday, and coming into this morning, we had this huge overnight move where we drew all the way up back into new all-time highs, and we actually hit a standard deviation level that I had marked out of -2. Exactly. ES did not make a new all-time high, so we had a external SMT there. Sorry if I sound a little out of it. I am under the weather a bit. Coming into open, we had a huge overnight gap. We also had a new day opening gap right here. And we also had it on ES right here. Now, I wanted to see that get hit, or at least like 50% of this overnight gap that we created, which is from here all the way up to 9:30 open, which is right here, which you see I have drawn out. Now, coming into today, yes, we were bullish, but we had that SMT and we have this huge overnight gap. We had equal lows right here. So I did want to see lower prices. I came into today saying, I want to see at least 50% of this overnight gap get hit before we start moving higher. Usually on Monday, it could be Monday manipulation and then, reversal and continue the opposite direction for the rest of the week. So I kind of wanted to see some sort of profile like that for this week. So as you can see right at open, they caught a lot of people, which I anticipated as well. And I did say live on stream that they're going to inverse this 5-minute gap right here. And then they're just going to reverse it. Why? Manipulation plus... See right here, this leg right here, we tap into optimal trade entry / golden pocket, and we see a strong move off of this. Now, this is exactly what I wanted to see coming into open because, like I said, I wanted to see draws lower. So I ended up taking one short today, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is. I believe my target was right here. Perfect. So we get that. We inverse this 1 minute and this 1 minute, but we did not close below this one right here. So I was waiting. Then we have this 2 minute as well. Once we inverse this 2 minute right here, and at the same time we inverse that 1 minute, I was like, okay, I want to enter short. So on this 2 minute candle right here, after we inverse, we started to, retest this inversion a little bit. I didn't get that entry, obviously, but I got something like this. Stop loss would have been here. This is my target. This is on the 2 minute. Let me drop down to the 1 minute so you can kind of see. The reason why I targeted that is because I'm pretty sure it was a 15-minute gap. Yeah, 15-minute gap low. We had those lows right there in the 1 minute. And on top of that, I just needed $1,500 for my evals. I would have targeted lower. I would have probably targeted, right in here around 156 or, maybe down here as well. But I only needed that move right here for 28 points because I was on evals and I had 3 minis in. So it was right around here, give or take. So yeah, that's all I needed, which was nice. Pretty clean trade if you ask me. We have this inverse boom right down, and I was targeting the gap. And as you guys know, or actually a lot of you probably don't know, but 70% of the time when we have a huge overnight gap or have a large overnight gap like this, we are going to fill at least 50% of that overnight gap. So we are going to fill that overnight gap 50%. At least 50% of that overnight gap, at least 70% of the time. And as you can see right here, you'll be like, oh, maybe we didn't get it on NQ. We did on ES. And that in itself is an SMT, right? Where did we reverse off of? We did not reach it on NQ, so this is another SMT, but we reached into new day opening gap. That was the bottom. As you can see, once we tap into it there, we have huge displacement off ES out of it, right? We see heavy displacement out of it. Then we come down, we make an SMT, right? We make an SMT, So now we have internal and external SMT. So now at this point, I was already off the charts by this point, but at this point, I'm looking for, some sort of entry if I wanted to frame longs, which you could have taken right here. We had this inverse right here, right? As double SMT, you have your stop, below here or 50% or down here, wherever, and you could target, this high. And it played out, and you could have left runners, to even higher, maybe 930 high, or maybe even all-time highs. Yeah, that was super clean for me. Market kind of played out exactly how I wanted it to coming into today, where we got the manipulation lower, and then reversal after we tap into new day opening gap and fill in half that gap. So solid trading day for me today. I do want to see how the daily candle closes, because it would be interesting if we do close bearish, but as right now it doesn't seem like it. Anything could happen. In the morning it seemed like we're going to be bearish today, but we did get that reversal, and I want to see higher prices going into the end of the week. A lot of times you do see 2 to 2.5 standard deviation of a move get met, and then you see some sort of pullback, which is exactly what we got here, down into like the 1 standard deviation, before then going to continue higher into, the 4.5 standard deviation, which would be all the way up here. So I'm curious to see if that plays out this week. That's, as of right now, what I'm trying to look for, but I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Hope you guys were all green today. Have a good day.